Well, hello there. Good evening. Um, well, on was it Friday night? On day 39 of reading the Bible in a year, that I said I was feeling a bit ill. I was feeling quite ill. My throat was seizing up. It was getting more and more croaky. I was starting to get fevers. Not well at all. I was basically bedbound for 2 days. Um, yeah, not nice. But today is the tail end of that. It's not a flu, it's a really bad cold. My parents think it might have been COVID, but I don't have any tests in my flat. But any time I had to go out to shops to get anything that I was short of, I made sure I wore a mask anyway, which I started doing during COVID itself, when I wasn't feeling up to the weather that much, I guess. But yeah, I'm still very snotty at the moment. And I've basically filled up 2 whole bins of tissues. Yeah, more information than you need. Anyway, I need to catch up. So today is Monday, almost. And I've got day 40 of reading the Bible in a year for you today. So it's Leviticus 21 to 23. Let's hope I can get through this reading without needing to blow my nose, because I don't want to stop the video in the middle of doing it. Regulations are for conduct of priests. And the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, None shall defile himself for the dead among his people, except for his relatives who are nearest to him, his mother, his father, his son, his daughter, and his brother. Also his virgin sister who is near to him, who has no husband, for her he may defile." Okay, that doesn't make sense. "Otherwise he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. They shall not make any bald place on their heads, nor shall they shave the edges of their beards, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. They shall be holy to their God, and not profane the name of their God, for they offered their offerings of the Lord, made by fire, and the bread of their God. Therefore they shall be holy. They shall not take a wife who is a harlot or defiled woman, nor shall they take a woman divorced from her husband, for the priest is holy to his God. Therefore you shall consecrate him, and he offers the bread of your God. He shall be holy to you. For I, the Lord, who sanctify you, I am holy. The daughter of any priest, if she profanes herself by playing the harlot, she profanes her father, she shall be burned with fire. Ooh. He who is the high priest among his brethren, on whose head the anointing oil was poured, and who is consecrated to wear the garments, shall not cover his head, nor tear his clothes, nor shall he go near any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or his mother, nor shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his God, for the consecration of the anointing oil of his God is upon him. I am the Lord. And he shall take a wife in her virginity. A widow or a divorced woman, or a defiled woman, or a harlot, these he shall not marry, but he shall take a virgin of his own people as wife. Nor shall he profane his posterity among his people, for I am the Lord to sanctify him. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron, saying, No man of your descendants in succeeding generations who has any defect may approach to offer the bread of his God. Ugh. Setting standards much? Pretty much, yeah. For any man who has a defect shall not approach a man blind or lame, who has marred face or any limb too long. A man who has a broken foot or a broken hand, or is a hunchback or a dwarf, or a man who has defect in his eye, or eczema or scab, or is a eunuch. No man of the descendants of Aaron the priest who has a defect shall come near to offer offerings made by fire to the Lord. He has a defect. He shall not come near to offer the bread of his God. He may eat the bread of his God, both the most holy and the holy, only he shall not go near the veil or approach the altar, because he has a defect, lest he profane my sanctuaries. For I, the Lord, sanctify them. And Moses told it to Aaron and his sons, and to all the children of Israel. I know he's setting standards, but they're a bit harsh. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, that they may separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they do not profane my holy name by what they dedicate to me. I am the Lord. Say to them, whoever of all your descendants throughout your generations who goes near the holy things which the children of Israel dedicate to the Lord, while he has uncleanness upon him, that person shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. Whatever man of the descendants of Aaron who is a leper or is a discharge shall not eat of the holy offerings until he is clean. And whoever touches anything made unclean by a corpse, or a man who has an emission of semen, or whoever touches any creeping thing by which he should be made unclean, or any person by whom he should become unclean, whatever his uncleanness be, the person who has touched any such thing shall be unclean until evening, and shall not eat the holy offerings unless he washes his body with water. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I have been watching lots of Family Guy recently. And when the sun goes down, he shall be clean, and afterward he may eat the holy offerings, because it is his food. Whatever dies naturally or is torn by beasts, he shall not eat, to defile himself with it. I am the Lord. They shall therefore keep my ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die thereby. If they profane it, I, the Lord, sanctify them. No outsider shall eat the holy offering, one who dwells with the priest, or a hired servant shall not eat the holy thing. But if the priest buys a person with this money, he may eat it, for one who is born in his house may eat his food. If the priest's daughter is married to an outsider, she may not eat the holy offerings. But if the priest's daughter is a widow or divorced, and has no child, and has returned to her father's house as in her youth, she may eat her father's food, but no outsider shall eat it. And if a man eats the holy offering unintentionally, then he shall actually restore a holy offering to the priest and add 1/5 to it. They shall not profane the holy offerings as the children of Israel, which they offer the Lord, or allow them to bear the guilt of trespass when they eat their holy offerings, for I, the Lord, sanctify them. Offerings accepted and not accepted. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, to all the children of Israel, and say to them, Whatever man of the house of Israel, of the strangers, all the strangers in Israel, who offers his sacrifice for any of his vows or any of his free will offerings, which they offer to the Lord as a burnt offering, you shall offer of your own free will a male without blemish from the cattle, from the sheep, or from the goats. Whatever is a defect, you shall not offer it, and not be accepted on your behalf. Goes in more into the offerings. And whatever has a defect you shall not offer, for it shall not be acceptable on your behalf. And whoever offers a sacrifice of peace offering to the Lord to fulfill his vow, or a freewill offering from his cattle or sheep, it must be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no defect. Those that are blind or broken or maimed, or have an ulcer or eczema or scabs, you shall not offer to the Lord, nor make an offering by fire to them on the altar to the Lord. Either a bull or a lamb that has any limb or too long or too short you may offer as a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. You shall not offer to the Lord what is bruised or crushed or torn or cut. Nor shall you make any offering of them in your land, nor from a foreigner's hand you shall offer any of these as the bread of your God, because of their corruption is in them, and the defects are in them. They shall not be accepted on your behalf. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, When a bull or a sheep or a goat is born, it shall be 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day, and thereafter it shall be accepted as an offering made by fire to the Lord. Whether it is a cow or ewe, do not kill both her and her young on the same day. When you offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the Lord, offer it of your own free will. On the same day it shall be eaten. You shall leave none of it until morning. I am the Lord. Therefore you shall keep my commandments and perform them. I am the Lord. You shall not profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am the Lord who sanctifies you, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord. Sorry about that, I just had to blow my nose. I just paused the recording for a minute there. Okay, feasts of the Lord. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, The feasts of the Lord which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, these are my feasts, the Sabbath. 6 days you shall work. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath among solemn rest. Of holy convocation you shall do no work on it. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. The Passover and unleavened bread. These are the feasts of the Lord, holy convocations, which you shall proclaim at their appointed times. On the 14th day of the first month at twilight is the Lord's Passover. On the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread to the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it, but you shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord for 7 days. The 7th day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. I need to find out when the Jewish year starts. It's to do with the months, I guess, and to do with the moons, possibly. So there might be 13 months. I don't know. The feast of the first fruits. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land which I give you and reap its harvest, you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest. He shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted on your behalf. On the day after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it, and you shall offer on that day, when you wave the sheaf, the male lamb of the first year without blemish, as a burnt offering to the Lord. Its grain offering shall be 2 lengths of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering made by fire to the Lord for a sweet aroma. Its drink offering shall be of wine, 1/4 of a hin. You shall eat neither bread nor parched grain, nor fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings, the Feast of Weeks. And you shall count for yourselves from that day after the Sabbath from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be completed. Count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall offer a new grain offering to the Lord. You shall bring from your dwellings 2 wave loaves of 2/10 of an ephah. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven. Leaven? In the tabernacle? What? They are the first fruits of the Lord. And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, 1 young bull and 2 rams. That's a lot. And they shall be as a burnt offering to the Lord, with their grain offering and their drink offerings, an offering made by fire for a sweet aroma to the Lord. And you shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and 2 male lambs of the first year as the sacrifice of a peace offering. More animals being killed just for offerings. The priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits as a wave offering before the Lord, with the 2 lambs, and they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. You shall proclaim on the same day that it is a holy convocation to you, though you shall do no customary work on it. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field when you reap, nor shall you gather any gleaning from your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am the Lord your God. That bit with the not reaping the corn is actually quite an economic thing, because it means that people who are poor or are travellers are able to eat for a certain amount of time without needing to beg. Sounds a bit like the dumpster diving that's going around the world at the moment, although it's now become a criminal offence in some countries. The Feast of Trumpets. I play a tuba. And someone has recently said, "Is it like a trumpet?" It sickens me when people get the instruments wrong. Never mind. Let's keep reading. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Sabbath, rest, a memorial of blowing trumpets, and a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord." Customary work. What does that mean? The Day of Atonement. Oh, sorry about the coughing. Probably need to have another throat sweet sometime. The Day of Atonement. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Also the 10th day of this 7th month shall be a day of atonement, and it shall be a holy convocation for you. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire to the Lord, and you shall do no work on the same day, for it is the Day of Atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. For any person who is not afflicted in soul on that same day shall be cut off from his people. And any person who does any work on that same day, that person I will destroy from among the people." Whoa. "You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict your souls on the 9th day of the month at evening. For evening to evening you shall celebrate your Sabbath." The Feast of Tabernacles. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month. That's a lot of days in 1 month for celebrations. Shall be a feast of tabernacles for 7 days to the Lord. For 7 days! On the 1st day there shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no customary work on it. For 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. It is a sacred assembly. And you shall do no customary work on it. I already said that 3 times. There are the feasts to the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. Said that twice now. A burnt offering and a grain offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything on its day. Wow. Besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, besides your gifts, besides your vows, and besides all your free will offerings, which you give to the Lord, also on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep the feast of the Lord for 7 days. And on the 1st day there shall be a Sabbath rest, and on the 8th day there shall be a Sabbath rest. There's a lot of rests and days where they're feasting and celebrating and not doing any work. No wonder people used to say that Jews don't do any work because they're always feasting and celebrating. It's loads of rumours, from like generational rumours that's going around. But these are almost impossible to follow anyway. And I've lost my place. And you shall take for yourselves on the 1st day the fruit of the beautiful trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of the leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days. You shall keep it as a feast to the Lord for 7 days in the year, and it shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month, and you shall dwell in booths for 7 days. All who are native Israelites shall dwell in booths. Who's going to be doing all the sacrifices and cooking of the foods and washing up of the dishes? Because that could be called customary work. Your generations may know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. As so Moses declared it to the children of Israel, the feasts of the Lord. Yeah, there's a lot of, generational and cultural rumours going around about that's been going around about the Jews, saying about how they don't do any work and are always feasting and celebrating and having holidays here, there and everywhere. And those are horrible rumours. Reading it here, makes you think, oh, so that's where the rumours are from. From all the strange laws and strange laws that they had to follow just to be called righteous. I feel sorry for them, really. And I shall finish there, and I will See you in my next reading, and hopefully my voice won't get slightly weird.